So we are done with the actual stats for 2021. So let's give you the forecast of what I think is going to happen in 2022. Hey everyone, Richard Payne here from Halifax Homes and Lifestyles at eXp Realty right here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. We've given you all of the information, all of the stats as to what went on in 2021, but we are here at the beginning of January, so we want to have a look at 2022 going forwards, what's going to happen for the whole year. Now, whether you're thinking of buying, thinking of selling, you need to understand what we think is going to happen in 2022. Now, we don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know. One thing we do know for absolute sure is we're at the middle of January. The first few weeks of January have been fast and furious. We've seen over asking price on like a $1.4 million house to the tune of over $175,000. I've seen a $425,000 two-story out in Porter's Lake go for $200,000 over. I've been part of two offers where it was 42 and 36 offers on the properties. Like, if that doesn't give you an idea as to how hot our market is right now, I don't really know what there is. But it is that hot. It is going to stay that hot. But one thing we know for absolute sure that's going to happen, the Bank of Canada and the government have both said that they need to control inflation. To control inflation, they have talked about increasing the base interest rate at the Bank of Canada, which in turn is going to get passed on to the banks. So therefore, mortgage lending rates are going to go up. Now, last year we did have a couple of big key things that changed with regards to qualifying for a mortgage at like the 5-point-something% interest rate, meaning that you're not going to get a 5-point-something interest rate. You're going to get whatever today's rate is, but we're going to stress test you to make sure that if you get this mortgage and the rates go as high as 5 point whatever and the number was, you can still actually pay the mortgage. Well, now it's actually going to start happening because rates are going to start going up so that they can try and control that inflation rate, keep it nice and steady. Nobody wants to have a country where the inflation rate is going rampant. So they're going to use inflation, they're going to use the interest rate and try and bring everything down. So what's that mean for buyers? Well, for buyers, it means that maybe you were thinking that $600,000, $500,000 was your number of a purchase price. Well, guess what? That $500,000 or $600,000 or whatever $100,000 home you're going to be looking at is now going to cost you more money on a monthly basis because your mortgage payments are going up. So what that means for you is that your buying power is going to be reduced. Now let's look at what that means for sellers. Sellers were always trying to time, more often than not, the best time to get you out of the market. 2021 was crazy. 2022 looks like the pricing of houses, definitely the availability is going to be low. So the pricing is still going to be really, really strong. And it's always better for a seller to start thinking about getting out of the market, selling the property, maybe a little bit ahead of the top of the curve. If we've got a bell curve like this and this is the very top of the market, we never know where the top of that market actually is. But if you're trying to time selling your house at the very top, you're in a very quick danger of interest rates change, buyers' ability to actually buy your house changes, and all of a sudden you're on the downslope. So then you're what we call chasing the market. We'd be much better to kind of time it just on the upswing where we are now. And that's one of the things that we're saying to a lot of people is we would much rather get you out of the market slightly ahead of where we think the peak is going to be than actually time it for the peak and then be chasing the market on the downside because we've lost a lot of buyers because the price points have all changed because mortgage rates, interest rates are going up. So that's one of the things that we're looking at. Now, that's going to happen in April. So the effect is going to be more in the kind of May, June, July, in the summer months. Now, here's the other problem we've got with Halifax is we know we don't have the inventory right now to sell. We've been talking to some of the builders and a lot of the builders are saying there's two problems. Number one, they haven't got the ability to develop the land, to build the houses, to put inventory on the market. Number two is their price increasing from materials is going up so quickly that they are not confident at all in the prices that they're actually putting out to you, the buyer, so that they're saying if our prices go up by 2%, 5%, whatever the number is they put on the contract, they reserve the right to come back to you as the buyer and pass that price increase on to you, at which case you can say, fine, carry on, or no, forget this, I'll walk away from the deal. So when you start looking at that from a building point of view, we're not going to see a lot of inventory from the builders coming on in the first half of the year. Shortage of lots, increasing pricing, uncertainty on the pricing that they're going to actually charge means that they want to wait. And certainly there's been two big builders I've spoke to in the last week, and they both said the same thing. They're going to wait a little longer before they start releasing lots to the actual market and then start building the houses on them. And then we're going to get clarity on the pricing and all that kind of stuff. So the delay of that is going to keep us with a really tight, small amount of inventory right now. I mean, we're sitting, I think, at 252 houses in the whole of HRM. HRM, Regional Municipality, Halifax Regional Municipality, is around about 500,000 people. 250 something homes is not a lot of homes to buy. Hence, 42 offers, 36 offers, $200,000 over asking price. These are all the things that come with a hot market. So from a buyer point of view, it's like you need to start really thinking hard and acting hard, sending in solid offers. From a seller point of view, my advice would be let's get out a little ahead of the market. Let's not try and wait and time the market to that absolute perfection when you're going to absolutely cap out at the best possible price. Don't wait. Don't wait till spring. Don't think that March is basically when everybody's going to start listing the houses and the winter's disappearing. We're getting less snow on the driveway, so it's going to be a better time. All of the buyers are out there right now. The timing of your market, you'd be better off right now. So that's the advice for sellers. That's a little bit of advice for buyers. 2022 is the first half is going to be very, very volatile. It's going to be up and down. Not 100% sure really what it's going to look like. It's just going to be a tough market for buyers again. Sellers are going to have so much ability to actually market the property, get some staging, fix it up so that it's in really good condition, and then just watch the offers roll in because it's going to be like that. Buyers, we've got to start working really hard. Like we've got to start being so good with our offers that there's just no way a seller could even not pick your offer. But again, there's going to be, seems like minimum of like 10 to whoever knows, like 42 offers on the table. So prepare your offers really, really smartly. Get in, be aggressive, and actually get the house, because second half of 2022, your purchasing power is definitely going to be reduced. So now we're not shopping in the 400 to 500 range, we're stopping in the 350 to 400 range. So all of a sudden what you can get for your money, because your mortgage payment's gone up, is actually less of a house compared to what you were thinking you were going to get. So don't stop. Just keep looking, and like if you're even thinking that it was like, yeah, second half of the year, let's start looking, I would be like, yeah, let's start looking now. Let's get off, let's get out there, get the pre-approval, get a rate hold for 60, 90 days from your bank, and start shopping hard for properties. So there you go. That's what we think 2022 is going to be. Second half of the year, fingers crossed it's going to be a little bit easier, but we just don't know. If you have any questions at all the details are flying around the screen. You know how to get a hold of me. Let's just get your questions answered. Let's talk to you about listing your property early, get out before the market. Buyers, let's just keep looking hard, and maybe let's change our area of focus and find something that works.